Hi, COSA10. So today I wanted to show you how to get into our ebook reader inside of the My IT Lab environment. So here's our COSA10 homepage in Canvas. To get into My IT Lab, you would always click on My Lab and Mastering. So that's what I'm going to do right now. Now, once you do that, you're going to see that Open My Lab and Mastering. Now, that's assuming that you've created your account already. And when you click on the Open My Lab and Mastering button, it's going to take you into our COSA10 shell. Now, the buttons that you'll see here will include course materials. So I'm going to click on course materials to get into all of the materials for our course. Now, the first time you get in there, it's going to take a little bit longer, but as the semester progresses, that should take less time. Today, you're seeing the Word Chapter 1, Introduction to Word Organizing a Document folder. As the semester progresses, you'll see more of those folders pop up. So I'm going to click on the link for Word Introductory Chapter 1. And it's going to take me into this area that has two folders in it. The first one is Word Chapter 1 Learning Resources. And the second one is the Chapter 1 Graded Assignments. The difference between these two folders is that the first folder has your ebook. It also has videos that you can watch about the topics you're learning. And it also has a PowerPoint that you can review, a narrated PowerPoint that allows you to look at the material in a different way. I'm going to go ahead and click on the Word Chapter 1 Learning Resources because that is where our ebook is housed. Now, again, you've got PowerPoints and Word videos here, but I want to go into our Word Chapter 1 eText Comprehensive. In this case, that's what it's called for Chapter 1. And again, this will take a little bit less time as the semester progresses, but it just takes a few seconds to get there. Now, this is the first page of the text. And if this was a printed book, this is exactly what the cover page would look like, right? This looks just like the printed book, but it's an ebook format. I'm going to show you here on the left-hand side, there are several icons. The first one is the home button. Now, the home button is actually the home for Pearson. If you click on that, it doesn't take you to the home button for our book, but it takes you to this area that usually has all of the products that you've purchased through Pearson. Well, that's not what I want. What I do want, however, is this second icon here. It's called the table of contents. And just like a printed textbook that has a table of contents, the ebook has your chapters divided into the table of contents here. You'll notice, guys and gals, that there are two chapter ones. Our actual textbook starts with Introduction to Word because that's the course that you signed up for. Next to Introduction to Word Organizing a Document, Chapter 1 is this little expand arrow. Whenever you see an arrow like this, you're going to click on it to see more. The table of contents breaks down each one of the chapter topics right into its own section here. So I've got the Introduction to Word Processing, which is a main header inside of the chapter. If I click on that arrow to expand it, you'll notice that the sub headings here also have sections unto themselves. So you can approach the reading of the chapter in one of two ways. You can click on sections that you are unfamiliar with to learn more about them. Or if you want to start from the very beginning, you would click on Introduction to Word Organizing a Document, and this would be the first page. It says page 70, but that's because there were two chapters that we are not completing in our class. So you would read through the information, right? And you'll notice that as I'm putting my mouse over these headings, they turn into hyperlinks. And that's because there's more information here. If you click, for example, on Objective 1, it's going to take you directly to that section, and it's going to allow you to do the reading, right, for that section. Now, when I clicked on it, as I'm reading through here, to create a blank document, click blank document where it opens. As you type text, the word wrap feature, notice that word wrap here is a hyperlink. Why is it a hyperlink? Well, that's one of the cool things about this ebook format. If you click on word wrap, the glossary definition for word wrap comes up on the screen. It says the feature that automatically moves towards the next line if they do not fit on the current line. It moves words to the next line. So this glossary feature that's built into your eText is a really great addition. For example, when you're taking a quiz, right? Or if you're unsure of a direction or instruction, you can always click on the phrase or word to see what the definition of it is. All right, so I keep scrolling here if I wanted to keep reading, right? And you'll notice that our reading does indeed have a lot of screenshots. So the reading shows you a picture of what this is referring to. As I'm going forward, right, we're using text. Again, we have more information here. When you're done with this section, you would click on the X to go back to the table of contents. All right, now that's if you wanted to do it section by section. But again, if you wanted to read this from the very beginning, this is the first page. On the bottom right, you're going to see the forward arrow, right? And this would be the equivalent of flipping the book. So I click on the arrow and it goes forward to the next page. Now I'm on page 71. I was previously on page 72. As I scroll down, right, and I'm reading this, I'm pretending that I've read all this information. If I want to go to the next page, I would just click on the next arrow, right? So this is the rest of page 72. And again, there's more glossary information there. I'd go forward to go to the next page and read the information there, and so forth and so on. If I wanted to go back, I could use the back arrow to go back a page, right? So you can, again, flip through the book this way, or you can go through the sections by clicking on a section to review that specific section. All right, one more thing I wanted to show you with this awesome navigation is the practice exercise link. At the end of the chapter, for each chapter that I assign you, you're going to complete one practice exercise. The practice exercises are step-by-step instructions given to you that you have to follow. And then once you are done with your document, you will submit it in Canvas and I will manually grade that for you, which means I'll make sure that you completed each step. So if I click on the practice exercise, and you'll notice here that here's my practice exercise, I'm going to read the information here for River City Media. And the practice exercise includes a visual, right? A visual key that shows you what the document should look like. Now, as you're reading through, you're going to notice that the first step here is number A, open the specific file that it's going to ask you to open. Those files are available in Canvas. You would go through each one of these steps, every single one of them, right? And at the end of this practice exercise, you're going to have a specific file name. You're going to save your document and you will submit that document into Canvas. And again, I will be grading those manually for you. Okay, now, as you're going through the practice exercises, remember that there's sometimes more than one practice exercise. Always make sure that you're working in the correct practice exercise. For example, this one's called River City Media, but if I go forward using this arrow here, you're going to notice that the next practice exercise is called Freshwater Research, right? So you're able to scroll through to find the one that you need. Okay, so that was the table of contents, right? If you bookmark any page using the little bookmark feature here, as I did with Freshwater Exercise, I just clicked on this little bookmark at the top there, you're able to get to those specific areas, right? It's just a very quick way to navigate to a specific page, any page. Okay, table of contents is great, right? Hopefully very useful to you as you are reading through the chapters, but there are other icons here that I want to also cover. The next one's going to be this one here. It's called the display settings. It's at the bottom of the icons. And I really like this one because it allows you to customize the ebook a little bit, right? Make it look the way that you like it to look when you read your text. So we have 3 color modes. There's light, sepia, and dark. I happen to be on light right now, but if I want to go to sepia, which means that I still want a bright background, but not quite so bright, I can use sepia. But if I want the dark background, which is very popular, right, then you have a very dark background with the white letters, and sometimes that's easier on the eyes. Let me go back to light here. You also notice that I've got my text size. I increased my text size because I do like to see my screen text size big. You can manipulate that, right? Move it bigger, smaller, whatever fits your reading style. Another thing that I really like is this font option. So the style of the letters here can be changed. Right now we're in default, but if you wanted to change it to Verdana, right, a non-serif or Arial or Times New Roman or Sassoon, right, whichever one of these you like, you can choose, customize this so that it looks the way you like it to look. Now the character case, I don't recommend that you change because the only other option is to make it all caps, and I don't think that's easier to read. Try it, you might like it. We also have the line spacing, which I do think is very useful. The line spacing allows you to increase the amount of space between each one of the lines on the text. So right now I've got it on the widest text line spacing we've got. If that's too far removed, you can also make it smaller, right? You can customize these, and notice that when I opened it up, it was already on the biggest there. It remembers your settings so that when you go back into the e-text, that is the setting that you're going to find. All right, now that was the display settings. And again, you have some freedom as to how you see this page. I'm going to close out the display settings, and I want to show you one more thing here, which I think is also really useful. It's the playlist. Now, in this particular playlist, I've got each one of the chapter sections that are available to me. If I wanted to start reading, right? If I wanted to read, but also listen to the words that I'm reading, I would click on a specific section. Right, so what you heard right there, it was a little low for you, but what you heard was the reader reading the document to you, right? So notice I did click on this on that specific section, and then I clicked on the play button, right? But again, it allows you to hear what you were also reading at the same time. And I did find that useful, right? Especially as I was learning new topics here. So I recommend that you try it out, and if you like it, that you continue to use it as you're working through the chapter. All right, COSA10, there's also other icons here, so I invite you to play with these icons. Get to know your e-text. This is supposed to be an easier product, right? You didn't pay for a bulky printed text, but you do have other options that are available to you, so definitely look around, especially with the notebook and the study, because they do help you organize your study there. All right, I hope that you have a wonderful time as you are working through your text, and that you find a setting that's right for you, right? That makes this a more enjoyable sort of activity.